Guns down! Guns down! Guns down! Thank you, sir. I would like to thank you all for coming on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Today is a big day for our community. The congressman gave me a call earlier this week and said, Shaun, what do you think about putting together a rally, a march against gun violence in our community? Shaun, what do you think about putting together a rally on Friday with 2 days notice, and we made it happen? Because for us, gun violence is the issue of our time right now. We have seen what has happened everywhere. We have seen what happened in Uvalde. We've seen what happened, throughout this country. And so today is a very important day for us to talk about gun violence and talk about the solution. I would like to introduce my friend and my colleague, Congressman Adriano Espaillat, who is fighting against gun violence at the state level. Fueron ya 2 días que han pasado que el congresista me llamó y me dijo, Shaun, ¿qué tú piensas de hacer un evento hoy contra la violencia de las armas de fuego? Yo dije, vamos a hacer ese trabajo. Y lo hicimos juntos. Yo estoy muy agradecido por el liderazgo de nuestro congresista. Sabemos que la violencia de armas de fuego es algo muy grande en este momento. Y es por esa razón que convenimos esta reunión. Yo tengo el honor de presentarle nuestro congresista Adriano Espaillat, quien está trabajando fuertemente contra la violencia de armas de fuego. So I am proud to introduce our Congressman Adriano Espaillat, who has been fighting gun violence in our federal government.
Thank you, Shaun, and thank you, Senator, for coming here. This district has seen its share of gun violence. We saw a young woman working in a Burger King in East Harlem, 19 years old, and even though she gave the money to the robber at gunpoint, he came back in and shot her to death. Then we saw an 11-month-old baby in a car with her mom waiting for her dad to come out of a store, shot in the face. And that same afternoon, 2 police officers from the 32nd precinct were shot and killed. And every weekend, young people lose their lives to handguns across the district. So this has to stop. And it stops not just by organizing the community, but by enacting laws, legislation that will take guns away from people. So there is a package of legislation that was taken up yesterday by the Judiciary Committee. Hay un paquete de legislación que fue aprobado ayer por el Comité Judicial que includes upping the age for the purchasing of any weapon to 21. Making it a federal offense for me to buy a weapon for somebody that's got a troubled criminal past. Making sure that the magazines that are used in those semi-automatic weapons are illegal. The bump stops also are illegal. Making sure that guns are safely put away in people's homes. And finally, the ghost gun, which is my bill, and which is kids that come to somebody's house by mail, and like President Biden said, you assemble some furniture, and at the end of the day, you have a bed, a sofa, a table, but when you assemble a ghost gun, you have a 9mm in your hand, and that's deadly. Tenemos esos proyectos de leyes que se van a aprobar esta semana en la Cámara de Representantes. They will be voted favorably in the House of Representatives. We must need the Senate to approve them as well. Necesitamos que el Senado también lo aprueba. But in addition to that, I think that that package of legislation doesn't go far enough. We need to ban assault weapons altogether, right? Nobody has the right to carry a semi-automatic weapon made for war, made to kill people quickly, as many as possible quickly. That should be banned altogether. You're not a soldier, you're not a police officer, you're not law enforcement. You shouldn't be carrying an AK-47 and R-50. You shouldn't be carrying assault weapons. So we must outlaw that as well. There's still lots of legislation. Todavía hay mucha legislación que tenemos que aprobar para eliminar este problema. Gun violence is a national epidemic. The Center for Disease Control has said that people being killed by gun violence have gone up to become a national health epidemic. The leading cause of death for children is gun violence. And so we're here to push back locally, and we're going to take this fight to Washington.
That's right.
Vamos a llevar este pleito para Washington. We have to. So if you're a bodega owner like Radamés Rodriguez, who's the Bodega Owners Association, or if you own a small business, si es dueño de un pequeño negocio, if you're a mom or a dad, you gotta be worried about this. Tienes que estar preocupado por esto. If you're an educator in the classroom, you gotta be concerned about this. If you're a neighbor, you gotta be concerned that somebody in your building may be perpetrating crimes by using firearms. Tenemos que trabajar juntos como comunidad para eliminar este problema. I started this morning at a school in the Bronx. Yo comencé esta mañana en una escuela en el Bronx, no muy lejos de donde la niña de 11 meses fue tiroteada, not too far from where the 11-month-old baby was shot in the face. Because there's a school there that has violent gangs around it. And the teacher and the parents and the principal are afraid. Yo comencé en una escuela donde hay pandillas alrededor de la escuela en el Bronx. Y los maestros, los padres y la directora de la escuela tienen temor. So we went there with the police and safety agents from the school, the Department of Education, to show the parents that we're behind them, que estamos con ellos, con los padres. And now we're here, we're going to East Harlem, vamos para el barrio a otra actividad como esta, and we will finish uptown tonight about 5 to 6 o'clock in Inwood Hill Park. Y vamos a terminar en una vigilia esta noche en el parque de Inwood. Todas las actividades son alrededor del tema de violencia de armas que tiene que parar. And the assault weapon ban must be passed. President Biden spoke last night and he said that he's fully behind a ban on assault weapons.
Yes.
And so let's push. This is just the beginning, folks. This is the beginning of a long fight, but we will prevail.
Yes.
Vamos a prevalecer. God bless you. Interfaith. I introduce you to Senator Robert Jackson.
First, thank you, Adriano, and good afternoon, everyone. Shaun, thank you for your team in putting this together. And in fact, we should have rallies and press conferences and demonstrations every single day until those legislators, both in Washington, D.C. and up in Albany, get their act together and understand, as one of my colleagues, Kevin Thomas, a state senator from Long Island, said, this is about saving lives. That's what it's about. Too many of our children and people are dying as a result of gun violence. And that's why Congressman said, we're here now. He's going to East Harlem a little later. He's coming up to Inwood. We have a rally in Inwood Hill Park on 218th Street. As soon as you come up at the park, right there. So please join whatever rally, whatever press conferences there are, to let people know that regardless if you're speaking at the mic or you're walking as part of the foundation of the demonstration, that we want gun violence to stop. And Canada is taking, methods in order to pull back all of these assault weapons. And let me tell you what I've said. If I was President of the United States of America, I would ban all assault weapons, and everyone who has one must turn it in, or it will be illegal to keep it. And what you get in return, you'll get you get satisfaction that your assault weapon will be used for other purposes in essence, to burn them up and destroy them, but you will get a tax credit for the amount of money. And assuming that you don't pay taxes, then you will get paid for it. The bottom line is, we must stop this violence at any cost necessary.
We might be protected by someone 17 years old with an assault weapon up in that window. We might all.
Our local city council member, Shaun Abreu.
Life up, guns down. Life up, guns down. Life up, guns down. Life up, guns down. Wow, I am so excited to be here. A barbershop and a restaurant. Outside of school and outside of station house. Strolling in the park and walking the dog. Today, we stand within walking distance of these spots that gun violence has infiltrated. Just a few blocks from here, on a warm summer day, much like this one, a member of our community, Jose Alvarado, was shot and killed. Shot while doing his job, delivering pizza. We also had Oscar Hernandez. We walked right past Final Barbershop on 151st in Amsterdam, where he saw the last moments of his life. Every day, we're reminded that it doesn't matter what job we do or where we live, where we eat or where we shop. On the wrong day, at the wrong time, gun violence can harm us or someone we love. Today, we are here to say that enough is enough. Enough is enough. We stand together, Congressman Espaillat, Senator Robert Jackson, the brother, her sister, soul. Let's hear it up for Bro Sis, y'all. Association of Dominican Classical Artists, Recon Mission, Uptown Soccer, Graham Wyndham, Fortune Society, Cloth, Nimitz, Harlem Pride, Classical Theater of Harlem, Future Giants, I see you right over there, Broadway Housing Communities, People Theaters Project, and crucial members of our community to commemorate the lives we've lost, both nationally and in our communities, but also to take action. We know that we can't stop gun violence alone. We cannot. As chair of the Council State and Federal Legislation Committee, my office will work with partners like Congressman Adriano Espaillat and other elected officials at the state level to coordinate our response. This month, I will be introducing legislation in the City Council that will take on the iron pipeline and combat the flood of guns from out of state. But our most important partners in stopping gun violence are standing right behind me. The young people who pick up guns in our city, they are in pain. They are in pain. They have been told that they have no other options. They have been told that there is no one they can ask for help to guide them. But these youth groups behind me are here to let young people know that they are not alone. Right. Your community loves you. We have a place for you. We want you to know that you are safe and that we are willing to invest in you. That has to be our message today and every day. Thank you so much. With that, I would like to introduce the co-founder of Bro Sis, James. Come on down and speak about your work.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Warwin, and I am the co-founder and associate executive director of the Brotherhood Sister Soul.
Yes.
I want to thank Councilman Abreu, Congressman Espaillat, Senator Jackson for bringing together this rally and this march. We all know that gun violence is a horrific plague within our community, within this society, within this nation as a whole. And unfortunately, we also know that this is a plague that was cemented into the foundation of this nation when it first started. We know that this nation was built upon and stolen from the Native American peoples at the hands of gun violence, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
We know that the wealth and the power of this nation was built upon the backs of enslaved people who were held there by gun violence. Am I right?
That's right.
And so there's a culture, there's a history, and there's a reality in this society of gun violence that has been here since day one. Dr. Martin Luther King called the United States of America the greatest purveyor of violence in history. That was 50 years ago.
Not black. He was brown.
Guns down! Guns down!
All right.
That's how you shoot somebody away.
Well, one of the beautiful things about this nation is that we allow people to speak their piece, right? So let him speak his piece. Obviously, he stands alone in this one. But I'll say this, when we talk about violence, when we talk about gun violence in particular, we know that part of the answer is about what are the resources, what are the opportunities that we are providing to people in order to create alternatives. And organizations like the Brotherhood Sister Soul and other youth organizations are providing opportunities for young people to choose their own path, to understand their futures, to think about where it is they want to head with their lives, to develop the critical thinking skills so they can analyze the situation that they were born into, and so that they can figure out where it is they want to go. They are our future, but they are also our present. And we have one of those young people from our organization. We have several of them here today, but one who is going to speak to us, and I will let him speak for himself. Please welcome to the mic, Brandel. Arms. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Brandel Arnold. I'm 18 years old, born and raised here in Harlem. I'm currently a senior at Thurgood Marshall Academy, and this fall I'll be attending Hampton University.
Yeah.
In New York City, there have been over 500 shootings this year, with 591 victims. There has been 27 school shootings and 273 mass shootings across the United States. This is a crisis. We are burying too many lives. Why is it that in some states you can legally purchase a firearm at the age of 18? Why is it that young people are able to buy guns underground? Kids are purchasing guns and killing other kids. In my 18 years of living, I've consoled too many individuals who have lost someone due to gun violence. I have given too many hugs and sent too many condolences to people my age because they've lost someone in a gun-related incident. Something's got to change. We demand laws regarding firearms to be strengthened. We demand our government to take action. Being in the Brotherhood Sister Soul, I've seen the organization's positive impact on our community's youth, providing a safe space for us to be rather than being out on the street, providing options and resources, giving us an environment where we are encouraged to use our voices rather than to resort to violence. We are encouraged to speak up for the things that we believe in, to help shape and change the world to make a better future. We at Bro Sis are here today to use our voices, to stand up to gun violence and to put an end to it. Thank you.
Share a few words.
Good afternoon. Guns down?
Guns down.
Guns down.
Life up.
I'd like to thank the Assembly. I'd like to council. Help me somebody.
Okay.
I'd like to thank the council for putting this together. And of course, because with our very strong representative, Congressman Espaillat, who has every year since he's been elected, walked with us in the Brides March up in Washington Heights. So, and Senator Jackson as well. We want to thank you. But what I'm here to say is that this is a national health crisis that's not only killing our black men and our black women and all these children that has been murdered to guns, but we have a real serious problem with domestic violence and gun violence. We just marched 2 months ago inside of Manhattanville and inside of Grand Houses because we lost Brittany Duffy, who was 3 months pregnant and who was murdered to gun violence. We lost Shanice Young, who was 9 months pregnant and murdered to gun violence. We have to understand that this is a national health crisis and we cannot stop the violence by ourselves. It's going to take a village, every single one of us, to denounce gun violence. We can't be about snitches get stitches. We got to be about, if you see something, say something. If you know somebody in your project, in your neighborhood, in your building, in the street over there, got a gun, call 911. You ain't got to tell them your name, your address, your social security number, your date of birth. Just tell them there's guns across the street. He got on a blue hat and purple pants. Go get him. But we need everybody involved if we're going to stop this violence in our community. Because if one hurt, we all hurt. So it's not my problem, it's a we problem. It's not just a you. And what did he say, Robert Kennedy? Don't be about wanting to make change, somebody help me. He said, be the change you want to see in this world. And let's be the change and make a difference. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Warm and to Stephanie. Life up. Guns down. Life up. Guns down. All right, I'm going to introduce you now to Faye Florimon. She's a member of Community Board 12. I've known her since I've been in high school. She was the reason I became the first public member of Community Board 12 before I became a fully appointed member. And so Faye was the person who, in many ways, inspired my activism within the community board and inspired me to act. And I just want to say, because of people like Faye, because of all the programs that are here today, we know what's possible for our children.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to say
Good afternoon.
First of all, I want to start by thanking Congress member Adriano Espaillat, our council member Shaun Abreu, and our Senator Robert Jackson, and of course all of you. I think this is a very, very, if not highly important initiative. As of one of the, I should say that one of the avid advocate of Youth and Police Building Bridges, which is an initiative that I started in 2015. I cannot agree with this kind of initiative more than anyone else. And I think that this is just the beginning that, you know, for us to start advocating against gun violence. But let me tell you, it's gonna take more than this initiative, you know, for us to stop this or to alleviate the problem. Communication is at the center of this problem, and everything should start at the house and ended up with our elected officials, because at the house they should start, the tone should be civil, parents should instruct their children, and then the elected officials should set the tone at zero tolerance to gun violence. Thank you all for being here and continue supporting this. Thank you.
Well, Faye, I think we're trying to set the tone today, all right? All right, I'm going to let my brother Derek Johnson speak to you all. He's a member of Community Board 9. He's also part of the Tenant Association, at Manhattanville. He's also a doctor and a pastor. Derek Johnson, please share a few words. He's also involved with Graham Wyndham, working with our youth in the West Harlem.
First, I give honor and praise to God Almighty. I'd like to thank Congressman Adriano Espaillat, City Council Member Shaun Abreu, and Senator Robert Jackson for sponsoring this march against gun violence. I am the Reverend Dr. Derek Shaheem Johnson Sr. I'm an assistant pastor at Metropolitan Baptist Church in Harlem, and I'm a life coach at Graham Wyndham's Graham Slam program, where I coach youth aging out of foster care, and I'm also on Community Board 9 Manhattan Youth Education and Libraries Committee. Being a survivor of gun violence myself, I was shot myself in Harlem on 125th Street about 3 decades ago. I've been blessed to witness the harsh reality of how gun violence impacts the victims as well as the shooters. We live in a society that was built on gun violence. Our entertainment, pleasure, and pain is deeply rooted in gun culture. Unfortunately, even innocent children are being socialized into vicious cycles of gun violence through video games, entertainment, television, and the internet. So sisters and brothers, we are at spiritual warfare with evil, and only God's grace and mercy can redeem us. This society is deficient in the logic and the reasoning of God's love, which can transform the minds and the hearts. Amen.
Amen. Executive Director to Harlem Mother Save, Jackie Rowe Adams.
Thank you. Hello, is this, it's not quite all Washington Heights. This is Hamilton Heights. So let me say to all of you, I'm just honored and glad to be out here standing with so many people.
That's right.
And let me thank and I gotta say our congressman. And let me thank our new city councilman. He done jumped in with 2 feet, 2 hands. And thank you. And everybody knows that I love my senator. Ones who know me know Senator Robert Jackson. I've been with him a long time. And I just want to thank him. I like the team, because that's what it's about, teamwork. And if we don't continue to do this teamwork, we all going to lose our families. It is important to take these egos, yeah, I said it, egos, and put them aside, and let's work together. Our kids are dying. You got Wong, Stephanie here, that every day she's out there with a mother or family from domestic violence. I heard what Faye said when I came up. We got leaders out here, so start acting like you lead. And stop doing so much talking and doing the walking. Now let me tell you, you're all out here, so my message is this. We done talked about mental health, Senator. We done talked about everything. But let's talk about saving our children and getting to the core of it. What could you do? You could do a lot. You could begin to search these kids' book bags. You could begin to look under your mattress. You could begin to ask your children who their friends are, where they going. You play a big part in this. It's not all about mental health and looking on that computer. Monitor whether you got little kids or not. You have
Y'all young people know what I'm talking about. All this social media, it must stop. A lot of this violence is on social media. Senator Jackson put in a bill for gun trafficking. We know our family members is going down south bringing guns back. My family member too, probably. But we must get ahead of this. We must get ahead of this violence. All this money is going somewhere, but it ain't stopping this violence. So we gotta stop this violence. We gotta say, parents, take those phones, check those phones. We got 11-year-old kids with guns, Congressman. Now, some parents will say, no, not my child. Yes, your child. Yes, your child. Yes. So, children, you gotta start listening to your family members. You have to start, parents and friends. Hey, each one teach one. You have to have this conversation with the kids. You gotta start talking about guns because it's real. Guns is in these kids' hands. Guns is in your house and you don't know it. Have this conversation. Things have changed now. So enough is enough. I'm a mother who lost 2 kids to gun violence. I can't bring my kids back, but I can help save another child. Let's take back. Let's take advantage of all these gun buybacks. Some people say, oh, it ain't gonna do no good. They'll go buy another gun, so let them turn in the one they got. Every gun off the street saves a life.
That's right.
So I want y'all to hear me. Have that conversation with the kids. Get involved with your children. Get involved with the community. If you see something, what you gonna do? If you see something, what you gonna do? Thank you.
Give it up for Jackie. That was very powerful.
I'm sorry. I forgot to say.
Talking about gun buybacks, District Attorney Alvin Bragg and Congressman Espaillat are having a gun buyback on June 25th, and we'll make sure to circulate information. I would also like to introduce one of the leaders from Grow Up and Grow Out. He will share a few words about his Cure Violence work.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? My name is Joseph Sanchez. I was born and raised here in New York City, Washington Heights, and I'm also the manager of the Parks Department, and I'm also a doctoral student here at Columbia University, studying public health and community education. And recently, I just became the leader, the director of Grow Up, Grow Out, New York City, which is an extension of the Credible Messenger mentoring program nationwide. And I just want to share that we are at your service. We're starting. We just got funded thanks to the council members and the congressman and Senator Jackson, everybody that supported our movement. And we'll be establishing in Washington Heights with New York City and New York State jurisdiction. So we're at your service. Excuse me. Excuse me. Mention that this gun violence is not a new problem. It's a very old problem. We grew up in it 40, 30 years ago. Many people have died. Many of our friends, many of our peers have passed away, and we still haven't been able to resolve this. But now, please, let's just come together, collaborate, join the coalitions, and let's work together to stop the violence, please. Thank you.
We're almost wrapping up, folks, but it's very important, again, that we conclude with our youth. I have here Leilani and Janaris from Brother Sister Soul who want to share a few words.
We have something to say. This isn't going to stop gun violence. Talking about it and working isn't going to stop. It's going to continue. It's not going to stop just for this little thing we do today. We have to think about tomorrow, about the kids that are younger than us, and the kids that may not have a future due to their grades, due to their parents' income, or due to their family issues. We have to think about the people that have issues at home, not just because they may have gun violence or their brother might be a gang member. It's not their fault. They need it to survive. They need the money.
they need to go to school. We should be able to make trade schools and make college easier to go to. That's what's important.
We also know that a small march, like she said, will not stop people from using guns and weapons. What we need is for our kids and the future people to stop people from gun violence is opportunity. Open up programs after schools, protection from bullies, and anything to get people off the streets and give them the opportunities that they need.
It's for that reason that we began our march on 153rd and ended right here on 143rd. It's for that reason. Because you are our future and you are the present, like Jason said. Right? So count on me to be your champion, to invest in youth education, to invest in your future, and invest in your present. Thank you so much.
Y para cerrar, vamos a recibir al presidente de la Asociación de Bodegueros, Radamés Rodríguez.
De verdad que es un placer estar aquí esta tarde. Congresista Adriano Espaillat, gracias por la invitación. Senador Robert Jackson, Shaun, gracias. Nosotros somos los que más violencia podemos ver. Los bodegueros somos los que primeros abrimos y somos los últimos que cerramos. Creemos que esto es una guerra, por decirlo así, que tenemos que trabajar todos unidos. Yo quisiera saber, yo tengo una bodega frente a una escuela, y yo quisiera saber dónde están los padres de esos niños que a veces son las 5 y las 6 de la tarde y ellos están al frente de mi bodega y yo no encuentro qué hacer. Yo considero que esto es algo que tenemos que luchar todos unidos, los padres, los vecinos, los hijos, todos los comerciantes, las bodegas, estamos ahí todo el tiempo con nuestros vecindarios y creemos y no queremos que esto siga creciendo. Ya nosotros tuvimos una época muy difícil en los años 80 y los años 90, de los cuales cuando salíamos de nuestras casas nos despedíamos de nuestra familia porque no sabíamos si íbamos a llegar. Hoy mi familia está desesperada porque no quieren que yo siga trabajando en bodega. Las bodegas son negocios que los trabajan los padres, los hijos, las esposas y están muy atemerados de todo esto que está pasando. Así es que nuestra organización United Bodegas of America y todo lo que nosotros podamos hacer, estamos al pendiente de todo y estamos de frente para trabajar y hacer lo que podamos hacer para luchar contra este mal que hoy le toca a un vecino, mañana me puede tocar a mí. Así es que vamos a luchar contra este mal todos juntos. Thank you very much. I'm here representing the United Bodegas of America. We're representing all the bodegas in the United States. Over here, only in New York, we have over 20,000 bodegas. Over 12,000 bodegas is on our and I'm representing because it's a Spanish one, but we're representing everyone. I have in this phone of over 500 stores that everything I say, over 500 bodegueros know what I say. And what we say every day is, please try to be nice with the people, try to know, because we've seen many people going into the store and we see that they have a gun. We go and we say that all the bodegueros, if they see somebody suspicious with a gun, so please call the 911 like everybody say over here. I think that this is a problem. This is a pandemic. We have to work together to stop it. Thank you very much.